I'd seen the film Wild and read the book before this series and loved them. And so while I was watching this, I thought, this story sounds familiar. And then I realized that they'd taken your story and your essay's advice from Dear Sugar and made it into this beautiful series. How close is this to your actual story?
Well, I loved, obviously Wild is just my story, right? And what was so great about Tiny Beautiful Things and being part of this whole experience, I was in the writer's room with our wonderful creator and showrunner, Liz Tiglar, and the other writers, and on the set. And it's really a mix of my life and absolutely fictional things. The character that Kathryn Hahn plays with such grace and comedy and depth, all of that. Her life is not my life. We have some things in common. We both write an advice column called Dear Sugar, but her deepest essence, she and I share entirely, right? When we first began talking about this show, I said to Liz, it's really, I feel like she has to have come from the same place I came from. She has to have had those formative experiences because, of course, she writes about them in her advice. She has to have a mother who died young of cancer. She has to have grown up poor and working class in a rural environment. She has to have an estranged, complicated relationship with her father. She has to have gotten married young and gotten divorced. So we said, okay, those things are true. And we tapped into them. I mean, to an extent that I was like, wow, okay. Liz in the writer's room was like, Cheryl, tell us what really happened. Tell us what really happened. And then there it would be on the page and now on the screen. So it's really a mix of very personal and also completely not my life, thank goodness.
Your Dear Sugar answers are just so incredibly beautiful. In the
Thank
series,
you.
Claire thinks about it quite a while before answering each question. Is that how it was for you? Because obviously a lot of effort and thought goes into each one.
Yeah, thank you. So yes, and I still write the column monthly. It's sugar has become something I, just can't stop doing, I guess. But what I do, my process is a little different than other writing. Usually when I'm writing something, I'll do many drafts and revisions and spend a lot of time. With sugar, what I do is I think about it usually for a week or so. I'll pick the letter and it'll be in my mind. And then I usually really write the column over the period of a few days. Sometimes many of those columns I wrote actually in the course of one sleepless night. Lots of them were written that way when my kids were young. And so, but I think a lot about them. I pay very close attention to the language of the letter writer, and I give my whole heart to my answers.
As an executive producer on this series, did you have input into who was cast?
Of course, yes. And when we approached Kathryn Hahn, we were just so hopeful that she would take it because she was precisely the person that we wanted. So she's such a phenomenal talent. Her ability to play the range that this character demands is always astonishing. We knew how good she was before she said yes, but seeing her work in it now, I mean, we celebrated when she said yes, and I still am. I just feel like, how did I get so lucky to have this extraordinary actress play this role?
And finally, what are you working on next?
So many things. Do you see my hands spinning all the plates? I'm writing my next book. I'm writing, like I said, still writing the Dear Sugar column once a month on my newsletter. And I'm also doing some stuff for Hollywood that I can't talk about yet, but doing some script writing as well.
Amazing. Can't wait to see anything that you're involved with. That'd be
Oh,
great.
thank
Uh,
you.
thank you very much for talking to me about this amazing series.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me and to write about it. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. If you're new here or if you're returning but you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, tap it now, plus the notification bell in the top right-hand corner so you don't miss out on any new celebrity interviews, and I've got a lot coming up. Also, hit the like button and tell me below in the comments, what are your favorite shows or movies? Who are your favorite stars? I can't promise anything, but I'll keep them in mind for future interviews. Love to hear from you.